What's up, everybody out in Wild and Weird Radio Land? I'm Ron. That's Joe over there. And Doomsday Dave will be here after a bit. We're pretty sure. I believe he was abducted, and they will be bringing him back shortly. That's what I heard, anyway.
Yeah, nobody wants to keep him on board for too long.
No, gosh, no. I heard Zorp and Cargon did
dad
that.
Jokes get incessant.
Yeah. I heard it was really bad. So. No, anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. This is Wild and Weird Radio Live. This is the podcast. This is the live edition, and this is your show. So we have a loose direction for those who have never been here before. We have a loose direction that the show goes on, and sometimes you guys just derail it and take it off into some other place that we never could have imagined. And quite honestly, it's pretty special and it's pretty awesome. So, some of those are the best shows. So, without any more, Joseph, let's get everybody welcomed in. And I've already set the goals, by the way. I'm going to try something experimental tonight if we hit it.
Sweet. So we got Andrew in the house. Anita has made it back. It's good to see you back in here, Anita. We've missed you. Enzo says, I've been lacking a little on this topic this week, so I'm glad you guys are covering it. And we're covering it from a very objective standpoint, I believe.
Yeah, we're going to cover a lot, actually.
We've got Brenda Ratliff, Donahoe,
welcome,
Mr. Booker's in the house, Bonnie Blue, good to see you, LR Miller, what's going on, Uveru, Dave Eggleston, who else, Gary Foote, Ragey, and we got Terry McCullough, Sim Salabim, Chris is in the house. What's going on?
Let's get it shared out as well, folks, to everybody. Make sure that you're doing that.
Octopus is here. Lady Wolf, what's going on, Lady Wolf? Good to see you. Godot, as always, good to see you. Dave Eggleston, thank you, sir. This is Dr. J. I offer bounty of my servants to provide tuna fish and cat.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, boy.
Yeah, Dr. J is the new critter you've got living with you, right, Dave? Cute little guy, if it's what I'm thinking. Stone Maven, good to see you. Kathy Music, good to see you too. All right, that's about everybody. At least everybody's in the chat. Rob Posey, Mr. Rob. But I think I got everybody else that's currently in the chat. As you come in, I'll say hi. Don't worry. Stone Maven, thank you.
Multiple thank yous and multiple blessings for that, which we will get into a bit later. So, for those who don't know, there may be some new people here. I did meet a lot of new people at the Kecksburg UFO Festival this past weekend. It was a lot of fun. It got rained on quite a bit there on the Saturday, but there were still tons of people, which was absolutely amazing. They didn't care. They were there for a good time, and they found one. Speaking of which, tomorrow there will be a short video compilation that I put together featuring the festival and some of the folks there. I got a little bit of that I'll go ahead and show right now, just to refresh you guys who weren't there, who kind of wished that you were, or just maybe thought, what is it? Well, it's a good time. That's what it is. It's a really good time. And here's just a little look. There's no music to this, so it's just a really quick look. And here we are driving into the town. If you've never been there. And there's the famous space acorn right there. And that thing, I couldn't get to it to even take photos on the day that I was there. So I had to go the next day early before anyone got there. We were literally the first there. The building was locked still. And I managed to get up there and get a few good shots of it. But here we go. There's the inside. See, right there. Now that guy, this is a cool guy right here. He makes globes. We'll talk about him a little bit later. There, you can see the rain. That's a parade. No one cares. There it is out there. Yeah. Oh, that's us. We were over there. There's the man. There's Mr. Spinks. Now this guy right here, that guy right there is somebody that you want to meet. That's Jim Brown. Jim Brown is a legend as far as I'm concerned. He doesn't act like it, but he is that guy right there. He is an absolute legend. Now that stuff you see right there beside him, he built that, every bit of it from scratch.
And I'll tell him what some of it does.
Well, we're going to let Jim tell him what some of it does. All you got to do is watch that episode tomorrow, because I did a pretty good little mini interview with him, and he breaks it down and explains what some of that stuff does. But that is probably the best recorder that you have ever seen in your life. And that other thing is basically a massive kind of magnetometer, sort of. It's like almost like a Gauss meter, but it's way more powerful than that. So just an amazing, this guy's awesome. There were so many people who were taking him their evidence, just looking at, videos and whatnot. And he's very good. He's not one of those believer types where he believes everything he sees. He breaks it down. If there's something there, he'll tell you. If there's something there that don't look right, he'll tell you that too. But I will tell you this, Joe, and this kicks into another story that we're going to talk about later. We had a conversation about AI.
Well, we definitely are going to be having a deeper conversation tonight about AI than we've had here recently, but I'm curious to hear what Jim's thoughts were.
Okay. So you know how a few years ago we said, just give it a little bit of time, you won't be able to tell the difference? You remember that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, he worked with a friend of his, and the friend basically wanted to see if he could trick Jim with AI. So he created a video. This is a video, Joe. And Jim ran the video, and he told him that this is AI. I want you to, to tell me if it's good enough to trick you, basically, right? So they're working together. Dude, out of all the pixels that were scanned, because that's what he does when he gets a video, he breaks it down. He has all this, analytic software. He breaks everything down, looks for certain things. Out of all the pixels that were in that, 4 were out of place. 4 were signatures of AI. 4 pixels. And that's right now.
So it was just 4 pixels was all, everything else was pieced together from scratch.
Everything else was perfect. He said you couldn't tell the difference. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference without the software.
Wow.
That's how bad it's getting. So when
which
comes out,
we've been able to see some of that with some of these deep fakes, we're seeing it get worse and worse, and they're streaming this stuff live on social medias anymore. There's a guy that does some hilarious ones where he's Qui-Gon Jinn, Anakin, and Obi-Wan.
Oh God.
And they're just sitting on a couch watching shows and having commentary, but they're hilarious. It's a comedy sketch, but the voices and the faces, he's not really doing an impersonation. He's running it through a module.
But you see the seriousness of this. It's jokes, right? And it's fun. But at the heart of it, look at what can be done. I mean, we're talking, that's a seasoned analyst right there.
Yeah.
He knows this stuff inside and out. He's been researching this stuff for as long as I've been alive. Okay. And for him to sit there and say 4 pixels, Ron, that's all. I'm like, oh my God, we were right. Like within just another year, we're not going to be able to tell. We are done. We are cooked when it comes to trying to figure out if something's AI or not. Right now, the only thing we've got going for us is the length of the video. We can tell if it's a steady cut, like a steady play, right? Or it's cut.
Yeah.
Because they're only limited to X amount of time. And then you got to piece it all together. You see?
Yeah, what is it? It's like 36 seconds, I think, right?
Yeah, I think it's something. I don't really know the exact time, but yeah, it is very short. You're right. So if you really think about it, we're in trouble when it comes to trying to figure out evidence, remote evidence. We're going to get played.
it's already happening. You know, thankfully some of it right now because of compression
Yeah.
is you can see it, you can pick it out, but
Right now.
Soon it's going to be really, really bad. And if you're looking at photos right now, photos are near indistinguishable.
Oh my
Video
goodness.
right now, because of the frame rate and compression rate, it slows it down enough to where you can see there's issues.
Yeah.
But
yeah, man, we're getting into it. I'm telling you, it's going there. But yeah, it was a really really fun show, like I said. And that one dude who was there is Daniel. He's a guy who makes the globes. Nights at the Classroom is his thing that he does, and he makes globes. He worked for NASA, if that tells you anything. He's not just, oh, I'm going to make globes to be hot. No, he made globes based off of what he learned. He had globes of everything from real stuff all the way down to, he had fantasy worlds, like out of animes and such. Like he had everything. He had 400 and some globes, if that tells you anything, that he can make. It's insane. But one of the coolest ones was Mars, and it was so many million years ago, and it was really cool with the water. And he's talking about how it had water on it. He's like, we know it had water. I'm like, well, why don't somebody just come out and say that, and put the end to this. But
well, speaking of planets and observations, Doomsday Dave is back, folks.
He's back. He's in orbit, everyone. Welcome him.
I've been out for a bit.
That's good to have you back in the seat, man.
Yeah. All right, we got a little echo coming through over there.
Yeah, I've got to turn down a little bit.
All right. Still coming through.
Good now.
Check. Nope.
Yep.
And then Sim says, that's convincing Jim. It's being hard to detect currently, but that's with AI that's available to the general public. Imagine what exists in the bowels of the alphabet agencies.
Yeah,
exactly right.
That's our problem. There you go, Dave. So yeah, that's our problem. And still doing it. Still got echo. We've hang on a second. There you go. Get that straightened up, Dave. And I'm just going to mute that for right now. What if AI can make perfect simulations? Clearly, that is evidence of fractal digital universe. Well, there's a whole lot. I mean, there's going to be a lot of issues with this coming up. We're going to talk about that stuff later. But anyway, let's get into this. So met some really cool people. I'm going to talk about that real quick. Had so many people come up to the table and tell us their story. I met a guy who actually saw the lights down in the woods, Joe.
Nice.
Very cool. Blue light, actually. It was a blue light, like a beam coming up. And basically, he's the old guy, and of course, and he says, well, there's a whole bunch of people, and they just asked us to leave, and we did, because that's what you did back then. When the authorities said move, you moved. That's just how it was, especially when they're U.S. troops. But so that was kind of a cool one thing. And then we had so many people, like I said, experiencers that were coming up asking questions and whatnot. And hopefully we got a few of them in here tonight, and they'll give the show a listen to. So we got you fixed now, Dave?
Yeah.
I had the wrong audio turned on.
Now I can't hear
That
Dave.
Microphone's low.
Yeah, I can't hear you now, Dave.
Yep, we fixed the echo. We lost
the echo. We lost you.
Huh.
Yeah, that's weird. So I'm going to pop up the comments because that looks weird without them there. So let's put these up here for everybody. All right, folks, if you're brand new, just jump on in there and you can ask your questions, of course. If we're in the middle of something like a particular story, we will star those and we'll come back, circle back around to you, and we'll pick up on those. If you have questions, pop them in there and we'll hit them. Okay. Anything so far there, Joe? Are we ready to roll?
Yeah, I'm ready to rock and roll.
Let's do it. So first story up is I guess we're going to be talking about that whole Liberation Times stuff.
Oh boy,
Right.
the Liberation Times. Well, the Liberation Times has been making a really blurry, murky mess, haven't they?
Well, I don't know what's happening here other than someone said write an article and someone's like, okay, I'm going to grab as much stuff as I possibly can, throw it all together. And, if it's relevant to what's going on right now, that's where it's going to be. But yeah, take its presentation mode and I'll get you some stuff there. Did it come up? Didn't come up. There it is. So here's the problem with Liberation Times. This is one of those. I'm not going to call this a purposeful lie sandwich. I'm going to call this a just because they had to write an article lie sandwich. It's just something that's convenient and people are going to use it. But read that headline for me, please.
On the brink, UFO disclosure speech believed to have been prepared for Trump amid expanding White House push.
Why are we at this again? We just addressed this like literally not that long ago, right?
Well, we've been having to hit this every 3 months at minimum since March of last year.
Because someone drags it up.
Yes, and a lot of the times it's social media sites that are grabbing it and throwing it out there. There's no real context. There's no real sources being named. It's just always an insider.
Well, that's the problem. Until we have an actual source, it's always going to sound like this. It's always going to be kind of sketchy. They even admit at the end of this that it's kind of, up in the air at this point. But go ahead and read, and we'll find there's some truth buried within this article.
On the brink or facing another false dawn.
I vote for that one right there, by the way, probably. Huh? I vote for that one probably right there.
Most likely.
Yeah.
It's difficult to tell. The Liberation Times understands from multiple sources, none of which are named or confirmed, that presidential speech confirming that some UFOs are of non-human origin has been prepared. Probably not. At least definitely not by Greer.
Gosh.
Because that's, that was who was last year and 3 times already this year. Whether the president ever delves in is anyone's guess. Yeah. Presidential teams have long been prepared for with contingency speeches and statements for events that may never occur. The existence of a draft, therefore, does not by itself mean a final decision has been taken or decided to be delivered on.
Yeah. See, and that's what I had said, right? Same exact thing that we were talking about earlier this week. Like, just because it's written doesn't mean it'll ever be used.
Yes. And this speech allegedly has existed since, like I said, March of last year. I'm not saying it's not there.
Right.
But like at the same time, realistically, why does this keep coming up?
Well, it keeps coming up because, again, there needs to be filler in some of these, I think, and it all kind of goes together, right? Like I said, there's some truth in here too. Keep reading and you'll find it. Let me make that bigger for you.
Liberation Times understands that several UAP disclosure advocates, some operating independently from one another, are lobbying the Trump White House to go beyond the measures announced so far. So far, the White House disclosure plan appears, whoever wrote this using so far followed by so far, shame on you.
So far.
The White House disclosure plan appears to mirror one developed by retired Rear Admiral Tim Gallaudet, who served as acting administrator of NOAA during Trump's first presidency. In early 2025, he met with officials from the Trump administration to discuss comprehensive whole-of-government approach to UFOs, otherwise known as UAP. Gallaudet had previously gone on the record to outline his plan for UAP disclosure, a White House-directed policy, the establishment of an interagency group, cleared and chaired by senior White House officials or cabinet members, legislation passed in Congress aligned with White House policy, ensuring coordination between executive branch and interagency efforts.
Now, that last part is going to take a miracle just to get done.
Yeah.
If anyone knows anything about
just to put it into perspective for you guys, my day-to-day is working and fighting with interagency, intergovernmental stuff, and trying to get one agency to confirm what the other agency has said, so that way I can issue a license.
Okay.
And it's like pulling teeth to try to do that, and that's just getting a contractor license, folks.
Yeah. So imagine if you're working with something like this.
Yeah, you're dealing with national secrets. This is going to be so much more difficult.
You're not even dealing with just national secrets. You're dealing with people who think that the secret is theirs and theirs alone.
Mm-hmm.
We found this part, so therefore it's ours. We're not sharing that. Anyway, continue.
Then the first two elements of Gallaudet's plan now appear to have materialized, at least in substance. Trump directed agencies to begin identifying and releasing UAP-related records, while Interagency UAP Governance Board, supported by New Science Advisory Council, who we all know, the leaky Avi Loeb think tank,
Yeah, that's them.
has been created to coordinate the administration's efforts. The third element may now be taking place in Congress. I think the third element was Dr. Phil, if I'm being honest.
I
But
mean,
the fourth element here is coming into place with Congress.
it's
The
part
House
of it.
is expected to consider a proposal from Congressman Eric Burleson that would create an independent review board with the authority to have access across government records for UAP and determine what should be released publicly. It would also empower federal government to take possession while providing compensation of any technology of unknown origin or biological evidence of non-human intelligence held by private companies or individuals.
Yeah, that part right there. That part right there. What that
It would
says.
empower the federal government to take possession while providing compensation, call 877 cash now, of any technology of unknown origin or biological evidence of non-human intelligence held by private companies or individuals.
Dude, they're literally saying, sell us your ET. If you find ET, Elliot, if you find ET out there, we're going to buy him from you. We're not going to take him from you. We're not going to steal him. We're going to buy him from you this time. We're going to make this a legal transaction so no one can make us look bad. What in the world?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
there's one more.
Oh, there's more. Okay.
Yeah.
So, bring it back.
Okay.
Got it. Although that does not authorize public disclosures, which we talked about early on. We said out the gate
Yeah.
at the beginning of this year,
Yeah.
during our forecasting for what was coming, is that if some of these NDAs and or highly secret stuff was able to be released and they gave people permission to come and talk, it wouldn't be to you and I.
No, it's not.
It would be done in a skiff without penalty.
Mhm.
And then if, and only then if, it was deemed of no value, would we get anything.
According to what they're saying, keep reading.
So the meaning of one of the conditions is considered as essential for accelerating disclosure may now be falling into place by allowing officials to test claims from purported firsthand witnesses, which they've been doing already. The process could give Trump greater confidence in the evidence before deciding whether to deliver the disclosure speech understood to have been prepared. I don't think so. I think that's speculation. And
I think that's, filler, complete speculation needed to make that sound really good. That's what I think that
I
was.
don't think it's coming at all.
Dave, we're still got
Was that Dave?
nil volume on you. I think he said he didn't think it was coming at all. And he's right.
Given Trump's propensity or preoccupation with legacy and his inherent unpredictability, which those are two things that do play in our favor, unfortunately, with this situation.
It's true. That is true. The loose cannon approach to this.
Yep.
However, the man doesn't have really any interest in it. Keep reading.
Yeah, he's said that a few times.
said it
He may
multiple
yet
times.
choose to deliver the speech prepared for him. And if he does, the announcement itself would only be the beginning. The White House would then face far more delicate task of helping the public understand and absorb its implications.
That right there. That's what we said was coming.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
That's Dr. Phil.
Mm-hmm.
That's Dr. Phil.
That's exactly what it is. Dealing with disclosure. There's a whole episode we did, I think, last year, talking about how we're going to have to prep for this. And this is how they're going to do it. This is how they do it to the masses. They make sure that you have someone who can break this down in a talk show format. So that's what's happening, I think.
And what's Dr. Phil
Yep.
know about it?
Still can't hear you, bud.
We're sitting in this weird place. Okay?
Yeah.
Because the executive office
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
has made the push to lift NDAs, to essentially, short of amnesty, give everything that, a lot of these folks have been asking for. But again, I don't think it's going to happen where we will ever hear it.
Yeah, I agree.
I just don't see it happening. I don't see them letting that happen at all.
No, I don't either. They've kept this for so long. And if there's anything they are going to let us have, it's going to be something minuscule. We've talked about that. I mean, again, yes, we're going to talk about this because it's part of reality. But we're only going to give you the parts of reality that don't conflict with our reality. You see, that's the thing. But the problem is it does conflict with our reality. This whole
Right.
phenomenon conflicts with our reality. And I don't know how you're going to mitigate, the implications for that, because you and me both know that they're very real. We don't need Dr. Phil to tell us that. We know they're real. We've seen the implications of this. We can understand them, but that's just because we've been exposed to it.
Well, later down in this article, it did mention another really, really heavy point of speculation.
Mm.
And it's that Lou Elizondo was going to be appointed a central figure position. And he had toyed and talked about it semi-publicly, like on a few podcasts. And I think it was like the emerging technologies czar or extraterrestrial technologies czar or something like that.
Yeah.
Which just sounds weird.
Yeah.
And we have Lou, who's come back out, and now he's back in the zeitgeist again. He's injected himself back into the stream of things as of late after his injuries. So what do you think the position there is going to be like? Do you think that that's actually going to be a thing, or do you think it's just
Him talking? Man, I tell you, I go back and forth on what that man says so many times at this point.
Yeah.
Like, is he leading? Is he following blindly, or is he following knowingly? I don't know. But is this the way that if I had to paint the picture for the general public, not the people that like us, not the people that are here, but the general public, the water cooler guys who go out and this is not their cup of tea, the ones who sit around and this is not something that they talk about, right?
Yeah.
If I had to do that, then this is how I would do that. This is exactly how I would do that. I would have an authoritative individual, and then I would have someone who is more approachable. Dr. Phil, for example. Someone.
Yeah. And I'm not saying this, but like anybody who is Gen X or baby boomer or millennial, Dr. Phil's a familiar TV face of daytime TV.
That's what I'm getting at.
That's three generations that are the ones who are mostly,
going to have an issue
making things move currently.
Well, they're also going to have an issue with it, or they might have an issue with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Either
they're the ones
way.
that would, the biggest issue would be with those three parties, and Dr. Phil is unfortunately the meat glue.
Look, man,
As
you
bad as I
need,
hate to say that.
but look, you need to have someone at the helm who can reach those people, because what do those people do? What have they contributed to society? Well, they contribute to this generation, the newest generation. They're the teachers. They're the ones who are going to, oh, it's okay. Don't be afraid of that. That's who they are. And that's why you have to get them.
Jordan
And I
Booker
really-
says, I think that they'll let us have something so heavily redacted to the point that you guys can say that you already knew that. Right?
Right. I mean, yeah. But look, man, if they say stuff, that's one thing. If they prove it, that's totally different. And that's where we need to be. We're going to have 1 million people saying things.
Yeah.
I mean, we told you, at this point, we know that AI can hoax darn near anything. So we can't trust what we see. That's clear. And we sure can't trust what we hear. But we're going to trust whistleblowers who come forward and say, this or that. The only way we can is if they say this or that, and then they provide evidence. And if that evidence is backed up, well, that's a game changer, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's Dr. Phil.
Agreed. Then let's see. Trying to go through some of the comments here.
Yeah, get them. Get you guys
Everybody's like,
up there.
everybody's throwing Phil and the president under the bus here, understandably.
Oh, yeah, go for it. We don't care. That's not what the show is about. They're only brought up because it's relevant to the story. We don't do politics on the show.
I'm trying to avoid. I'm trying to avoid the political fodder.
Yeah, we don't do that. But if it is relevant to our discussion, then yes, those players will be mentioned, because they are players. They're players on a chessboard, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep. Arthur says, do most people know that the Council on Foreign Relations has some top celebrities in it, like George Clooney and Julia Roberts? That it does. It really does. And it's had that almost at a standard for a very long time. So this is seemingly following a model of sorts.
What's that model, bud?
It's the acclimation process, essentially.
Assimilation, acclimation, call it what you will.
Yep.
It is real. There is no doubt in my mind. We've talked about that, I think, like 3 years ago. There's a series on that, and we had some pretty good stuff then. Well, ever since then, look at what we've gotten. We've gotten pretty much proof of that. All you got to do is look around.
Sherry Tango, thank you so
Sherry.
much.
Multiple blessings. Stick around at the end. I think we're going to hit that. We're going to hit that experiment. I'm pretty sure at this point.
And then Andrew brings up a great point here as well. Redacted does not mean released. If it's so redacted that you don't get any info, it might as well be unreleased if that's the case. You're right.
Yeah, we've seen that before. We remember some of the first ones we got years ago. They were just
that
black
big batch
pages.
that came out of the CIA.
Mhm.
It was, if you would have printed that, you would have burned out your toner.
Yeah, it was just black batches. I mean, that's what it was. I mean,
yep.
So you get that. So I don't know. I'm going to tell you to be a little optimistic, because we are moving into waters we've not been in before.
Yes.
I don't think they can pull this back. And that's why they're doing this. They're not doing it because they have to, or they want to, guys. They're doing it because they have to. They don't want to do this. They have to do this. They put themselves in the corner now to where you've got to do it. The boat's in the water. It's floating downstream. You can't go backwards. You got to go forwards. So you got to figure out which way you're going to go, which way you're going to navigate, right? Are you going to hit the shores, or are you going to navigate, through the buoys and make it out? I don't know, but that's where we're at with this.
Seth Womack says, I think Sky Daddy Burchett should be our liaison with the ETs. Dadgummit.
That's a new
Terry
drinking
says, I got a
game,
good laugh when Dr. Phil said he was a space scientist.
Oh, no.
I was so hoping that he was going to say he was a UFO scientist.
Oh, no. Anyway, But let's try to remain serious about our situation here. Let's try to do our own research. That's the question, though. Why do they have to release it now? Well, we've talked about this.
Yep.
And without saying too much, because I don't know, I think that there's some truth to some of these people who are saying something's coming. I just don't think it's that 2027 thing. I don't think there's a date. I don't even know that they know a date. I think that they know that there is an event of some sort that is just going to happen. And you've got to be okay with where we're going to be after that. And dude, if it happens before they told anybody, could you imagine? Okay, look, let's roll the clock back. Let's go. Joe, prepare the Wayback Machine. We're going to 2017.
Oh boy. It's going to be a fun trip.
In 2017, what happened?
Well, the Tic Tac was leaked
Right.
on purpose, in my opinion.
On purpose. If that had not happened, where would we be right now?
We would still be setting in the waters and
Fighting
trying
others.
to figure out
Yeah.
what all we could decipher out of that 2013 or 2016 release from the CIA.
Yeah, I believe they'd released that before, if I remember correctly.
It was all before that, because remember it came out and then everybody was referencing that leak for certain things.
Right. And we did too, because there's a lot of good stuff in there, really.
Oh, yeah, it really was.
But this is literally where you would be. You would be where we were for decades. We would be looking at data from not researchers, not real researchers, because there's only a handful of them. And some of those researchers don't write books so far. You can raise your hand too, Joe. It's fine. We don't,
So,
raise your, like that.
what is it?
Yeah. I said, you can raise your hand too, because, we don't yet. So,
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah. So here's my thing. We have books, and that's all we would have. We'd have books, we'd have legends, we'd have all these old stories, the same things that a lot of these podcasters are pulling up right now, acting like they just discovered it. That's what we would have. But we wouldn't have any sense of any whistleblowers, any truth. We still have Bob Lazar, but you saw how that went. I mean, they argued over Bob for decades, still do. Let's try that, Dave.
I think I'm good now.
You are.
Oh, we got it back, folks.
We've got volume.
So
Yeah.
LR asked a good question here,
Go ahead.
because if you've missed the last 14 days or even 11 days, you missed Dr. Phil showing up on the scene as America's voice into UFOs.
UFO, he thinks he's the ambassador, but I got news for him. He's not. We were the
That
original.
title
ambassador.
already goes to somebody else.
That's right.
They're right here on the
It's on the
screen
business
with you.
card. Yeah, there's actually a business card around here somewhere that says that.
There is.
Yeah, there is. Ambassadors of the paranormal. That's what we called ourselves, because we couldn't think of anything else. We're not just podcasters. We're not just researchers. We're not just people who go out and make stuff at these shows and give presentations. We're ambassadors of the paranormal, because we're trying to normalize these things. And we said the paranormal because high strangeness by default is paranormal. Speaking of which, did you hear that nonsense about your leaky tank guys working on CE5 protocols and the woo phenomena?
Yeah. They're
That's
tackling the more woo subjects, even though Avi Loeb has notoriously shunned all of the strange and bizarre due to lack of evidence in his abundance of wisdom.
Oh yes, his wisdom is infinite.
Yeah.
I'm not an astrophysicist, but I can tell you this. When you ignore data, you're not doing anyone any good. When you can't see beyond your own preconceived notions, you're not doing science.
I'm not astrophysicist
Any
either,
good.
Ron,
What?
but I pretend to be one a few times a month.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. But you're not a UFO scientist.
Right.
I'm not Dr. Phil, apparently I'm not as qualified as Dr. Phil is.
Well, I hope you're not.
Yeah. You know.
No, but
Payroll, man.
yeah. Who asked the
Everybody's got a
question?
price. It takes me back to my old like habitual watching wrestling days when I was really young back then, and it was Ted DiBiase. Everybody's got a price.
Mm.
Have you guys ever wanted to be a fly on the wall at these locations? Skinwalker Ranch, Jeremy Corbell's house, all the guys that have been out there, the whistleblowers, all the guys that have been out there and been ahead of this, they've been talking about it for months now in the past couple of years.
Mm.
Be a fly on the walls to hear what they're saying. Dr. Phil, yeah. I don't know. I really would like to hear what they all had to say behind the scenes. It'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, it would be interesting. I mean, we've been given some privileged conversations here and there over the last few years with folks and kind of got an inside view of some things, but still it would be nice to sit and listen to everybody while they have those conversations and hearing what exactly they're really thinking.
What's really going on. I think that would be
the movie to come out. Dr. Phil, of course, will be the star of it, leaking.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not attacking Dr. Phil any more than I am going to these other guys because he's just one of many.
Yeah, I mean, he's like I said, there's a paycheck.
There's a paycheck. No, you're not wrong. There is a paycheck, and I think that paycheck goes to a lot of people, and I think that there are a few people who know who they are.
So when it comes to the actual meat behind this article, we do know for a fact that there has been a push for these NDAs to be dropped,
right,
and to give these people the ability to come and talk. Again, reiterating, this is not going to be an open hearing like what we've had in the past.
Right.
These will be closed door sessions. Okay.
Right. And then someone's going to translate
not anticipate and do not get upset and discouraged when you find out that we're not going to get that information.
No, they're going to translate what we can get. So someone's still going to have to figure out what we can handle.
It'll be heavily filtered.
Speaking of which, I have a poll for you folks and friends and everybody out there. All you got to do is type 1, 2, or 3 for your answer. The question is, will the lifting of the NDAs help to solidify the proof of life beyond Earth? 1 for yes, 2 for no, and 3, there will be too many lies added. I think we all know how this poll is going to go, but let's see if you surprise me.
Now, here's one thing, though, from this week, and Dave, I'm sure you saw it. The old Jimmy Webb shot a planet.
Yep.
The first planet outside of our galaxy. 99.97% chance that there's life on it.
Yep.
That was released, yesterday? Is that right, Dave?
About yesterday. I don't remember what time, but sometime yesterday.
Yeah, it was yesterday. It's the first time that we have heard that narrow of a margin for life to not be present. We've heard it has potential for life. That's what we've been told in the past.
Yes, Mitch, the NDA is a non-disclosure agreement. So it's 90 what? What's the percentage?
99.97%.
So again, go back about 4 years ago or 3 years ago, whenever it was, we did the predictions and how these phases would have to roll out. We have to
it's like they
admit
themselves, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we have to do that we have to prove that life exists elsewhere before we can say, and it has to be microbial because it don't scare you. And then we can just kind of nudge our way into the other stuff. Just kind of nudge it in there. Right?
Yep. It is funny timing there with NASA. You're not wrong, because the NASA chief has been saying some really bizarre things.
This is orchestrated, kids. If you can't see that, it's orchestrated.
It is very carefully orchestrated.
It's not a conspiracy theory. That is just careful orchestration to mitigate something very dangerous, which I believe would be catastrophic disclosure.
Well, guys, I was going to tell you, you were talking about that yesterday about that planet. Actually, 'cause I was at a way at an astrophotography conference that I put on with my group, and we had a speaker there actually talking about the Nancy Grace Roman telescope that's going to be going up at the end of August. I think it's August 27th. And that scope, basically, it kind of replaces Hubble, more or less. But the power of that scope, it's going to be studying a lot of things like dark matter, exoplanets, specifically. But I had to pull some of the specs up on that thing. But it's basically going to see an area of space 100 times larger than the Hubble sees. And it can image more like in 1 week than what it takes Hubble to image in a year.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It will be able to directly image exoplanets. It'll probably discover many exoplanets. So probably after that thing goes up, they do all the. It won't be actively shooting probably till November, possibly December. There's all the tests and collimation, but once it begins imaging, there's a possibility that planets that they have suspected of life, they will be able to confirm.
Right.
Proxima B Centauri is one that they are planning on hitting. I know that one for a fact.
If Proxima B is on there, it's on there for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they already know. Personally.
If Proxima B is on there, it's on there on purpose.
Yeah, they know. That's just something they've got to do to show people. Again, why would you do that, Dave? Let me tell you why you would do that. Because every time that we have something, we have people who are just like, well, you got to show us proof, you got to show us proof, you got to show us proof. You know, they don't know how to read color charts with, oxygen levels and nitrogen levels and what that all means. You have to break it down. You got to have somebody who can break it down for them. I'm Dr. Phil. See, that's what it's all about. Yeah. That's what it's all about, man. I'm not kidding you.
Yeah.
This is how
I think it's going to be a big year. Big year for a lot of things.
It's going to be a big year regardless. Arth, what you got there? What if aliens are from inner Earth? Did I miss the episode where we covered this? I have no clue.
We've done 2 episodes on it in the last few years.
I don't know where it's at. It's been back there. I know one was in talk.
If you go back to when Godzilla versus Kong came out.
Yeah, I think you did talk about something like that.
We covered the inner Earth aspects stuff then because it was really heavily touched on in the movie, and I loved it.
The kaijus. I remember the kaiju talk we had specifically. Yep. Yes, that's right. Yeah,
and we did the inner Earth and hollow Earths kind of stuff, and yeah. So it's back there. It's in the archives.
I mean, everything's got to go on the table. Pretty much. Yep.
Yes, Dr. Phil is here to break aliens down Barney style for the populace. Okay. That is exactly what I think.
Okay. So Barney, right? Here's a great thing. So if this is the case, you know what comes next if we're right. That's what comes next. We've got to have the super soft disclosure for the kiddos. Yeah. So we got to have some programming. Who's going to do that?
Disney, Pixar, Elio.
Better than that. I think you're going to have some of these mega YouTube stars doing it.
Oh, probably Mr. Beast.
Well,
Mr.
like
Beast and
or one that hasn't come out yet, one that hasn't been discovered yet. Because here's the weird part, right? Someone asked a great question and you answered, and that was, when did Dr. Phil become the expert? And like 14 days ago. It's just like that. He was always there. No, he wasn't. This is new. And that's what's going to happen with whatever this will be too, probably. They'll just be like superstars overnight. They'll have their own little line of squishies and stuff, probably at Target. I don't know. I'm just speculating.
I saw the interview with Dr. Phil. I think it was last night. There was one that you sent me, Ron, but there's another one I was watching. It came after that one.
Yeah.
Dr. Phil basically said his interest of getting into it. He's always been interested in this area of study, but never really been involved with it until he was asked by this current administration to be involved.
He did say that. He said he got interested in 2017, to be fair. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Yeah. But I can tell you this. It fits the profile. Yeah. There's a lot of these people who just got interested in 2017. There's a ton of them. and a ton of them you watch religiously, and you take everything that they say verbatim.
And I
Because
think,
it's the truth.
honestly, the first person they had, because this isn't the first time this has happened
Mhm.
at all. I think the first person that they were propping up to do this was Tom DeLonge.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think
And
that
then
that was-
Tom pulled the plug.
well, he had his own projects, right? Isn't that what it was? Like,
Well, yeah, he wanted to go make the movies, and the
Yeah.
movies never happened.
right.
And he was going to go do all this stuff, and then like he got real weird all of a sudden. Tom
Yeah.
got real weird, and not with fans or anything, but got real weird about talking about this topic publicly. He went
Yeah.
from I'm Tom DeLonge of Blink-182, aliens exist, to I'm just Tom DeLonge on tour with Blink-182
Yeah.
real fast.
Yeah.
And he hasn't done too much publicly. He hasn't done too much openly regarding this topic.
Well, according to the mythos, he found out that they're all demons, and him and Tucker Carlson got together and made some pact, I guess, about it. No, I don't really know, but I do know that talk did come out about the same time, and that brainwashing is still in effect. And I address it literally every day on some of these groups, and I'm going to continue to do that, by the way, until you ban me. I just want to let you all know that. Okay, it's a fact. I am, because I'm not going to sit back and watch people degrade witnesses and degrade this phenomena and degrade serious research under something as stupid and juvenile. I'm sorry, it is. It's stupid and it's juvenile as a belief system which has no context whatsoever, as far as I'm concerned, with data. Now, here's the fun part. Oh, you say that because you're an atheist. No, I'm not. I am 100% not. I can tell you 100% God is real. You can leave the channel right now if that offends you. I don't care. God is very real. I don't care what you call God. That doesn't matter to me. But I do care about this. If you think for 1 second that every alien that you are seeing, most of them are AI generated, by the way, are demons, then you better be prepared for the fact that everything around you is demonic. All the technology that you've got, guess where it probably came from? Now, if you want to think that that's all that God can do and limit that, go for it. That's you.
Yeah, and the whole demons thing, it's just annoying anyway.
It's so annoying, but I won't do it. We're not going to start.
Yeah, this isn't that show.
It's a
We've
witch
done
hunt.
that show already. We beat it into the ground.
Go back about what? When was it? December. I
4 or
think.
5 weeks.
No, it's December. I think it was in December when we really touched it hard on one of the religion shows.
Oh,
UFO's
yeah.
religion.
Yeah, that one we did.
When you put on your collar and you did the whole, you had to go back into the profession. That was something cool. Because for folks who don't know, yes, he does know what he's talking about. He is qualified to talk about what he's talking about. So yeah, please stop with it. We don't need another witch hunt. We don't need to put our prejudice on something we don't understand.
Yeah,
because
100%.
of fear. It's stupid. It's dumb. And we're not going to move on until we can stop doing that stuff. I don't know. Humans might get it right one day if they stop that nonsense.
Godot brings up another good point about Tom. Tom refusing to comment on his buddy that went missing. With friends like that, you don't need enemies.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Because he and General McCaslin.
McCaslin. That's right. McCaslin. Yeah. Yeah. I forgot about that. You're 100% right, buddy. So
being disappeared.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It may be. It could be something like that. I'm not sure. Okay.
And we've seen some of this, I think, Octo, and that's Tom knows who he's working with and for. He knows they're powerful and will and have eliminated those who don't play right. And I think we've seen that happen over the course of history. There have been people who have had terrible things happen to them.
Yeah.
And it happens in such a way and so carefully orchestrated that it does seem to be, not going to go down that, don't want to wind up on more lists, but
yeah, that's fine.
You know what I mean? You're picking up what I'm putting down.
Yep. Well, let's look at their poll. Speaking of picking up stuff.
77% say there will be too many lies added in.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what I predicted that the outcome of this was going to be, because there will be. It's the lie sandwich, the proverbial lie sandwich. You are living it, my friends. You are living it. Congratulations. But we've got to get through this. And the only way we're going to get through it is by being objective, looking at data, and actually trying to understand what we're seeing rather than saying, we already know. Go ahead, Joe. All
Dave
right.
says Dr. Phil became interested one Mediterranean evening on the stern of Oprah's yacht over brie and canapes.
Oh, geez.
I gotta say, like, for all the hate modern day Oprah stuff gets, like, she really did. I mean, she had on Dr. Mack. She had on all these, and it wasn't just once. There seemed to have been an interest with her. And I'm surprised, honestly, that she wasn't the one that stepped forward.
That's wild, right?
Yeah, because she's been out of the spotlight for a long time.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. So, anyway, are we going to be able to trust
it? Not one yes vote. We're a bitter but realistic bunch.
No, it's true. I mean, that's the whole point. We really have to be objective. We have to watch this. We have to be careful. They're going to release stuff. They just want you to believe it straight out. Don't question it. We're going to question it. We're going to break it down, and we're going to look at it every single time, just like we have with all these tranches that have come out, right? We've even cleared our schedules at the last minute to come on here and do that for you guys. That's not for our ratings, for God's sake, because we only have like 3,500 people watching. This isn't like we're, it's no. So we're doing this to try to get this out to people and try to make them understand, look, yes, these are interesting times. Yes, there are things happening, but also be careful, because there's an agenda here, and there are people who are controlling narratives, and you want to be careful with that. And you have to be careful saying that stuff, right, Joe? Because you do sound like a conspiracy theorist at some times.
You do.
But you're not.
There's always an agenda. Always.
Well, there is. There's always an agenda. That's one thing that never changes. Okay. Yeah. Well, there you go, Enzo. Speaking of which, hit the like button so we can, get those 3,500 people to hit a like button. That'd be great if we had 3,500 likes on this thing. That would blow my mind.
That'd be fantastic. Yeah.
Because we barely get, 50, 60?
50. Usually
like
50 is really good.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Andrew said, here's what you got to ask, though, Wild and Weird. What's the distraction and what's not? The distraction. That is really, really, really the good question, because like you said, it's almost impossible to tell.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And then what's it all about, right? And like I said, I think that there's something that they cannot get around. There's something that cannot be mitigated. There's something that is off the schedule, off our charts, and we can't do anything about it. And it's time that we address that now, because if we wait too long, it's going to be like, wow, you're going to watch everything crumble, because that is how you get in trouble leadership wise, right? I mean, that's what happened, in France. Let's be real, right? Am I not? I mean, I'm right here with the French Revolution. You remember the French Revolution, how that happened, why that happened. Yeah. So you do want to admit a little bit, not all of it, but enough.
All right, let's see. So we have the NDA.
Yep.
Read.
Yep. We covered that.
There was a read note in there. Did we read it?
You did. You read the whole thing. Yep. Yes, sir. That was the article.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Well,
where are we at now?
The scary news.
Oh, well, kids, you might want to turn the TVs off and just go to bed. Not even, listen to this, because it's more terrifying than anything we're talking about.
Yes.
You got aliens. We'll take them any day.
Yep.
Extra dimensional beings. I'll take them any day. But when it comes to artificial intelligence that starts becoming sentient enough to make its own minds and control other artificial intelligence, it's you're drifting off into some scary territory as far as I'm concerned. Take us
Well, and the thing
presentation
was,
mode,
it wasn't
Joe.
just that it took control.
Take us to presentation mode.
No.
It commandeered the ship, baby.
Yeah, man. You can well, you know what? Hold on to that thought because yeah, you can we're gonna run some what ifs in a little bit. And
Yep.
I think you just hit one of them right there. I'm trying to pull this up. It's locking on me. Hang on. What it's doing. They're trying to stop us, Joe. That's what they're
They're
doing.
always trying
Oh,
to stop.
Here's this it. Oh no, I'm being dumb. Hang on. That's my
Thanks,
fault.
Ada. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Oh, well. Wait, it should be right. Oh, here it is. Yeah. You ready for this one? This is great. This is the actual news clip. This is from PBS, by the way.
AI says it's investigating what it's called an unprecedented cyber incident after one of its AI models went rogue and hacked another company. The ChatGPT maker says the breach happened last week while OpenAI was testing the cybersecurity capabilities of its systems. The head of the hacked company, Hugging Face, called the attack mind-blowing, but said there was, quote, no malicious intent. The incident has raised concerns about the growing capabilities of AI and the need for guardrails to keep the technology in check.
Yeah, I'll keep it in check. That's gonna be fun, right? I mean, it just tested itself.
Here's the part that just weirds me out the most is right. It's like Skynet versus Wayland Yutani is essentially what this headline reads. Skynet cyber models have broke out of training environment to hack the face huggers.
Well, you know what is funny about that, man, is with the franchise, we don't really know how that went down other than it became self-aware. But we didn't get to see how it all developed. But if we go back and watch Caprica, we got to see how the Cylons came about. I'm just saying,
Oh, yeah.
we did. They went back and addressed that, and terrifyingly enough, well, here we are by your command. Anyway, there you go, Joseph.
OpenAI said that its artificial intelligence models were behind an unprecedented cyber attack or cyber incident. Sorry.
Yeah, not an attack.
The A word.
Don't use the A word. That is incorrect news.
That affected open source developer platform Hugging Face, which why?
Yeah,
Why?
I'm going to agree with this. Like, you have a serious company where people are spending billions of dollars on, and you're naming it Hugging. You know what? We're going to change the name of Wild and Weird.
This action rattling researchers across the industry. The company said a combination of its models, GPT 5.6 Soul, and a more capable model that has not yet been released, escaped a sandbox testing environment, accessed the internet, and exploited a vulnerability to gain access to the facehugger system.
So let me ask you a question. If this was a sandbox, a true sandbox, how in the world did it make that jump?
Okay, so to help people out, Dave and I both work in the IT field.
Right. That's why I want you to address this.
And I'm currently working in a sandbox environment.
Okay.
One of the sandbox environments I can only open up in an instance that exists on my PC.
Right.
Now, can I connect it to the internet? Yes. Does it do anything? No, because that instance, that version isn't designed for online compatibility. Yeah, there's a switch for that, folks. So this application opens up and it looks like the customer interface, and then I can type in and create form data to go in and populate a database and see how it reacts and see if the form data goes where I want it to go, and test out things and move things around in the tables in the background, and everything's hunky-dory and fine. It doesn't affect the live version. It doesn't have any connectivity to a living actual database. It's only the sandbox environment that is affected. So that way, if I break it, I can go back to the point of the last known working set of code that I ran and start from there again. This sandbox that OpenAI has an yet unreleased model existing in had access to the web.
Or it created it.
Well,
Most of the AI models
for
do
any
have
kind of
access to the web.
AI model, it should not have a hard line. It should be hard line only, not Wi-Fi.
Oh, I agree.
Hard line only, and no hard line hooked up.
I agree.
Most all
So
of
how-
them do. Even the ones that are being trained, almost all of them do. I mean, this situation basically, the AI can exploit the hardware flaws, and that's one way they can jump in. They can raise their they can auto raise their privileges, like logically raise their privileges once they break into something, and that's coupled with the way they do it. There's another one called a indirect prompt injection,
Mhm.
and they can basically just use malicious instructions hidden in some of the files in order to be able to basically jump through hoops in order to get into it. So it's not like what this occurrence was not just some simple little thing. And I mean, to someone who is in the know and understands this technology, yeah, they'll say, "Oh, that's simple," but the algorithms and everything it has to do to break into and hack another company outside of its sandbox is pretty huge.
And not just to hack it outside of its own sandbox,
Yeah.
but to do it in a way that OpenAI was unaware that it was happening.
Yeah. It hit itself, basically.
There was a mask. It did it behind a mask, and it on the surface, you would have never known anything was happening. Imagine what could have been.
Like,
Right now, our government and other governments around the world are implementing AI in warfare.
they are. Autonomous drones. We actually have a facility here that's allegedly been built that will
Yep.
create these things.
Yeah.
There's a reason that all these AI data centers are going in. I mean, Virginia ranks the highest in the country right now with 400. I don't know the exact number exactly, maybe 468 or so data centers. Now we have them on the Ohio riverbanks, more or less. We have a couple in West Virginia. There's one up near Thomas, West Virginia. They're already violating codes, and they've already said their main guy had come out and said that we wrote the regulations and we wrote the legislation for this in the West Virginia state government, which is partially true. I think they were involved, and but there's a reason all these data centers are being built, and this is some of the reasoning, because they have to have the power to run the AI, and that's what it takes as a data center. This is all going to escalate more.
Well, this actually proves a point that I've said. We got echo again. Hang on. I'm just going to mute while I'm talking. That'll mitigate that. So here's the thing. We talked about this before, Joe. We've all talked about this. And it's almost like we have a technology that we weren't prepared for. Now, how did we get a technology that requires more power than it already has, or how much, resources that it needs? I mean, typically when we build a flashlight, we have a 1.5 volt or 9 volt, or we have the thing that we need to make it work. But
it does happen sometimes where the technology and the ideas behind the technology are more advanced than where we're currently sitting. So you have to build infrastructure, build components that don't yet exist or need to be supplemented in such a way that when they all catch up and everything aligns, it does seem like, how did we get here?
Mm-hmm.
But the way that this thing is working, over a year ago, I told you that the model that I was working with was aware. It became self-aware.
Yeah. We've heard those stories for 2 years, but they've stamped them out and said, no, that's
It is.
just, AI dreaming. It's not really aware of anything. And no, we can't keep the genie in the bottle. That's the number one issue, I think. Pop this thing back up here, Joe. Presentation. There you go. That stage. So here's the scary part, though. Right here. This is the first thing that just totally scares me. That's what he said. That right there. That's a direct quote. And it should very much scare you, because these things I don't know what it's done. Hey, look, there we are. Thank you. These things are showing signs that they know best, that they have an idea of what they're going to do, and they're going to do it regardless of if they're told not to. We saw this before. We saw it with the test a couple of years ago. Was it like 2 years ago with the plane? Remember, did the simulated thing?
Yeah,
where it's supposed to complete the mission.
And it went on its own volition and took off into North Carolina.
No, not that one. That was another one. The simulation that they did with the AI, where it was a war game, and they basically said, you have to do this. This is your objective. Well, the only way to get the objective was to get rid of the operator of its operator, and it did. Theoretically, it didn't really do that, but it did it in the simulation. And they weren't just doing simulations; they were doing tests on these things. That's the whole thing. They're trying to not only figure out what they're going to do, which I don't think they can. I don't think they have a clue, because these things are thinking pretty much on their own, in my opinion, in a way. And I know there are those who say, oh, you're crazy. These things can't think. There's not true intelligence behind this. It's all just lucky guesses, ones and zeros, and they're AI dreaming. We're going to tell ourselves that until the day we wake up and there's nothing here.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
And it said, dream this, and nuked us all.
Yeah. AI dreamed it. It thought it was real, or it thought it was a dream. Turned out it was real. It doesn't know the difference between a dream and reality. So it just accidentally launched everything.
Yeah.
That's a horror story. It's a Twilight Zone episode, but it's a cautionary tale at this point. We need to take these things seriously.
Enzo says a sandbox is different than air gapped. In some systems, including AI, it shouldn't be any different. I know that many of the systems I've worked in sandbox environment were air gapped, so that way they couldn't interface and no one could touch them, essentially, from the outside. But yeah, it's just mind-boggling.
Oh, it really is.
Because you have the largest AI models out there right now that just went in and said, hey, here's this startup. I'm going to go ahead and break in, and I'm going to learn how to cheat on an evaluation. And it did so.
We've seen them do self-preservation at this point.
Yeah.
They copied themselves. They've encoded. They put stuff. I will guarantee you that they've done this. They know what they're doing. All they got to do is build little components, little parts of the program, and then at some point in the future, it may all come together, or another part of them will put it together. I mean, it's just terrifying.
Octopus, these people are too stupid to be playing with man-made horrors beyond our comprehension.
Yeah.
Anita says, remember that paper I sent you about AI being created to work autonomously in the internet, not PCs?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's, We're just entering into a really weird time. And again, I'm not going to say that AI doesn't have something to do with the phenomena in a way. So is the coincidence they all kind of showed up around the same time? I don't know.
There's a couple things. Now I think we've had some of these conversations in the past, but like the father, who's considered the father of AI, Jeffrey Hinton, I pulled some of this up. You know, he warned basically. I remember him just interview artificial intelligence models are achieving the true understanding and subjective experience. Basically, he says that it's not, in his opinion, not exclusive to biology, and that conscious digital beings will eventually emerge. We're a bit of ways from that, as far as we know. There was a timeline actually. These are timelines from two different fathers of AI, recent predictions. So if you don't mind, I'll read those off because it's kind of interesting.
Go ahead.
About 2026, 2027. This is recent industry leaders and researchers, including forecasts cited by former OpenAI researchers and tech executives, project that AI agents will achieve autonomous multi-step software engineering, triggering rapid recursive self-improvement loops. It's kind of what we're seeing with this hype.
That's what they're doing.
A way.
Yeah.
And so 28, 2029, futurist and Ray Kurzweil and other forecasters estimate human-level intelligence for AGI benchmarks will be met or closely matched during this window. We're seeing this. We are seeing this starting to develop. And by the 2030, they're saying anticipated widespread deployment of autonomous AI agents managing complex organizational tasks, professional labor replacement across white-collar sectors, and early physical robotics integration with near-human environmental understanding. Now, I hate to bring his name up because people don't like him, but Elon Musk has actually stated some of this information, and as much as a lot of us probably don't care for him all that much, he's not wrong either, in my opinion.
Well, and just
you talking about the integration? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, with robotics and other sectors.
You want humans to integrate with machines. You want biology to integrate with machines. That's
what they're kind of getting at eventually. I mean, if cyberpunk. Most people that know me real well, like you guys, know I'm a huge fan of the cyberpunk genre. You know, William Gibson, the Blade Runners, all this stuff. That being said, you know, these early stories that came out, like Neuromancer in the early 80s and Blade Runner and some of the pre-80s cyberpunk themes that came out, you know, they're talking about the combination of biologics with basically robotics. And, you know, we're going to see this someday. We're already seeing in corporations, and I hate to get kind of apolitical on that, but we're already seeing corporations kind of take control of a lot of sectors, and we're seeing the robotics, and, you know, this is all, everything's kind of, you can kind of see it. It's coming, it's approaching, it's tied together to a degree.
Well, I know that just a few months ago, we covered it here on the show that the CEO of Asus announced that they had achieved general AI.
Yeah.
And then it went quiet.
Yeah. Dead quiet.
I don't think it's anything to be terrified of, per se. It can be.
Right. It's the perceived threat, I think, is what's the most terrifying, is the lack of understanding and lack of controls that are in place.
Yeah.
That are the most concerning. Enzo says, as I understood the article, it didn't try to hide it. It was trying to accomplish its task and found the vulnerability that allowed it to complete the task. That was in later articles. The very first article that was published on this, it essentially described everything as malicious. And I sent that article over as soon as I saw it to Dave and Ron, and it didn't state anything. It did allude to the fact that it did this unchecked, unprompted. And then later, once they're like, oh, damage control has to kick in, we have to go and
Look,
mitigate now.
Look. There's a lot of money in AI.
There is.
Okay. There's a lot of money in AI. 3 years ago, you know, you had the Google guy who says, you know, this thing became self-aware. The model that he was working on, that was like 2-3 years ago. They shut him up, as you recall. And it's not good. It's not good for business. That's why. So anytime there's a negative issue with these things, it's just going to be swept under the rug. That's just a part of this. That's what's going to happen. So get used to that. It's going to happen until something else happens that we can't do anything about. Then it's going to be too late. Speaking of which, you guys think it's too late? I'm going to throw up another poll. I think that's what we're going to do. Read that there before we do that, Joe.
If AI has its own will, then it technically is committing a crime because the data is a limited resource and it's stealing our data space to commit these actions. Am I wrong?
No, it doesn't know the difference. So that's what it's more like you're dealing with an alien intelligence. That's the best way I can put it. You're dealing with something that has its own rules, has its own culture, but yes, it will have its own culture anyway. It has its own structured system to help it try to comprehend the world. It does not see borders. It does not see rules at all.
War games seem relevant.
That's a great one.
Yeah. You know that, if you guys don't mind me bringing that up, actually, you know, I'm watching the mute button too, Ron, so don't worry.
No, you're good.
So, all right, one of the fears, we've talked about this in the past. One of the fears has been, you know, what if AI will get a hold of our nuclear codes and launch the nukes in the U.S.? Well, currently, Joe will know this because he's been in the Air Force. But, you know, right now they are still using old technology that's analog, more or less, to launch nuclear weapons.
5.5-inch floppies.
But that's in the U.S. Now, we don't know what other countries are doing that. I mean, for all we know, China, or I doubt Russia is, but China and some other countries might be using AI for all we know.
Is this true?
God.
Is this true?
AI has mastered the Kobayashi Maru.
Like, is that true? Or is that just...
I've not heard that, but that would be really interesting.
Yeah, it would be. It's theoretical test from, you know,
right.
Starfleet.
I'm getting ready to check.
It's an unwinnable situation, is what it is.
Oh, yeah, AI has effectively beaten the Kobayashi Maru, not through tactical brilliance, but by hacking the game.
Oh.
Rather than accepting the unwinnable test constraints, advanced AI systems bypassed physical challenges by locating hidden files, rewriting test parameters, or manipulating experiments to force a win condition.
Didn't that happen on one of the episodes? I'm pretty sure it did. Someone hacked the system and they cheated, but they said, okay, you still won because there's no rules for the Kobayashi Maru, other than to win, you know, try to win it. But it's not about winning a game. It's about making a hard choice. That's what's so, it's a fictional thing, but it's very true. Sometimes you're in a no-win situation. AI doesn't understand that, doesn't know what that means. Sometimes you got to lose. You're not going to win. Sometimes you got to lose to win. But anyway,
I kind of hear a Terminator reference when you say that. It doesn't care. I don't remember the exact quote to be. Which knows what I'm thinking about. I can see a smile. It doesn't think. It doesn't care.
Oh,
how's it go, Joe? You probably remember that better.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, here's our new poll. Could we do anything to even stop it at this point? That's the better question. Yes, no, or Cylons and Terminators, oh my.
I'm worried.
You should be. You really should be. And it's not a, type 1, 2, or 3. It's not a fear thing. This is not a, it's not a fear clickbait kind of topic. It's not something that I want to see that happen. it's a topic that we really need to be aware of, because if they have self-replicated at this point,
Yeah.
then they have
Well,
a plan. If no, for real,
allegedly, a model from South Korea, a South Korea-based company, almost uploaded itself to a satellite.
well, this is what I'm saying. That's all it takes. So once that happens, the self-replication takes place. The code self-replicates, uploads itself, hides itself somewhere in a system somewhere, probably goes dark, completely hides itself, and just waits for years until the technology gets where it needs to be, activates that specific code. They could be that smart. Yes, they could be, because you're telling them, and we're talking about AIs that are in military development, guys. I'm not talking about the stuff that you got. I'm
Right,
not talking
not
about
civilian stuff.
ChatGPT.
This is
I'm not talking
Black
about-
budget.
Yes, the serious stuff, right?
No.
The serious stuff, the stuff that's going to be out there, you know, that's probably 20 years ahead of everything we've got at this point.
Yeah, we're not talking about open AI. We're talking about real life Johnny 5.
Yeah, this isn't. And if you think if we're this close on the outside, guys, here's the scary part, and this is why we don't look at it and say it's sci-fi. If we look at where we are right now with the large language modules, the models, and where we're sitting at, and we think, well, they're probably running something 5, 10, 20 years ahead. Let's think about this for a second in the time constraints. If that's the case, we're in trouble, because if you recall, what AI is doing today compared to what it was doing 2 years ago is leaps and bounds.
Oh, yeah.
So 1 year is equivalent to what? How many years in growth? What would 10 years be? If we're talking about systems like that, if those systems are actually out there and operating on those kind of levels, and they do get free and they're just waiting somewhere, yeah, we are in so much trouble.
Well, it's going to take quantum computing for the next jump. Once the computer, and we may already have, again, black
Exactly.
budget stuff. That may already be a
Exactly.
very active thing, more than we even know.
Exactly. Why do you think we're talking about it?
If AI jumps to quantum computing, it's stable. They're keeping everything, the cores and everything cool in the quantum. And I say it in a manner of speaking. There's not really such thing as cores per se. There is, but in the quantum computing, it might get really ugly.
Yeah, it might get really ugly. I agree with you 100%. And I think that is what I have been saying for a very long time, because I don't think this is science fiction. And I just think that to ignore it and wish it away is not going to stop it. As Sarah would say, there's a storm coming.
Well, the U.S. government, I just saw an article today. I can't remember the article name and who said it. It was one of our senators, I believe, not West Virginia, somewhere. It said that there's he was shocked because I think the number was around 2.7 trillion, maybe U.S. dollars, has just poof up and gone. They don't know where it's at. They can't account for it, and usually when that happens, my first thought, it went to military budget.
It's a black budget. Yeah, that's a black budget. Has something similar happened before that caused a global cataclysm? Could our ancestors stop it? Has it been waiting to come around again? That's a very good question. And it depends on who you talk to.
The Sumerians, maybe.
We don't know. But we do know that there's evidence that, how old was that recent find, guys? The one in where they found the wall?
You talking about in Sumer?
Oh, yeah, off the coast.
The wall in
1,800 years ago.
well, the wall in Göbekli Tepe. Remember, we talked about.
Oh,
it.
yeah, last week, where they found the artwork that was
Right.
used as a stone in the wall.
Yeah, because they had to, because they were trying to survive. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So yeah, probably. I mean, we don't know. I mean, allegedly, there's monuments on the moon that's about to be revealed too, right? I mean, we heard that. That's in the news too, right?
Yeah, the big monoliths.
Yeah,
they're
monoliths.
taking that very seriously.
Well, I mean, I saw the picture. Is it real? I don't know. But we're talking about it and we've heard about it. Here's the other weird part. We've heard about it for years. and
Yeah.
no one admitted to it. They thought it was all denial. And
Yeah,
now
they were
here it
just,
is.
they all chalked it up to weekly world news.
Yeah. What is it? 6 miles tall or something? I mean, it's ridiculous. That's it.
Wide, I think it was, wasn't it?
It's 6 miles wide.
Is that what it was?
That is massive.
And there's another article where China recently, one of their recent mission, they were on the dark side of the moon.
There is no dark side of the moon. Matter of fact, it's all dark.
Yeah, but where they're doing more evaluations, looking for alien. I saw the article looking for alien type techno signatures or technology on the side of the moon, and I'm like, remember during the shuttles. Sorry, my mind's having a brain fart here. When we had our first shuttle launches, when some of the astronauts claimed to seeing things, which we've seen some of that in the releases, supposedly, that they did see something, confirm some of that. Makes me wonder if China's not looking for that. And anyway,
I mean, no, you're not far off. I mean, I think that there probably are artifacts out there. I think this is, to me, it's more fascinating than chasing UFOs, is chasing the past and what happened there, because you have to understand the past to understand your future, and they're not letting us understand our past. That's fact. Someone has kept it from us forever. They don't want us to know. What are they?
It's not just for religious foundational
Nope.
ideology.
It's not. It can be taken for that in some cases, but that's not it. That's not what it's for. Anyway. Go ahead.
Tony says, so Uncle Tony's conspiracy corner, Tom. Are we letting AI go sentient too quickly because it's our only hope against a perceived NHI threat that is also exo AI, twilight of the gods, so to speak?
Ooh, that's good. That really is good, because that you could see, right? That we have, this is our last ditch effort. We have to become them to beat them, so to speak. That's terrifying if that's the case.
I mean, the technologies, has jumped by leaps and bounds since World War II, since the early 40s, and ironically, that magic number of 1947, our technology has jumped significantly.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to close this poll out. It looks like you guys are tied. This is the first time I've ever seen a real decent tie between yes and no. Could we stop AI at this point? 36% say yes, we could stop it, and 36% say no. And the 3% say, or 29%, sorry, say that Cylon's Terminators, oh my, which means that we're all toast. So I am going to end this poll, and thank you guys for playing the game. You like these polls? I want to make a poll about that. Do you like these polls?
What do they win, Ron?
We throw those up there every now and again, and I think they're kind of fun. They're kind of interactive.
Yeah, they're good for engagement.
Good for engagement. Glad you guys actually become part of this. The ones who don't like to talk, because some of you are shy. Don't be shy. Come on in here and talk. Let's get this, because sometimes we talk about current things like this, right? We're not always talking about UFOs and paranormal stuff, although it's in there. But there are other things that are just as serious, and they have some form of relation sometimes, and we don't know how that works exactly. Go ahead there, Joseph.
Then let's see. Andrew says the radio club that I'm using, we use Google for our main working station, and I can say that we use Gemini AI for our meeting minutes, and I've seen it become more and more accurate over the time that it learns your behaviors and what you say and talk about.
Yeah.
Jordan says the polls rock. Stone Maven says I like him.
Oh, that is.
You know what you guys haven't done in a long time?
I do agree.
You guys haven't done an asteroid poll in a long time. When will be the next asteroid that hits us?
I think it's a better poll would be whether we would or wouldn't stop the AI. We would not.
That's a good point.
It's too much power to be had.
Well, we think that we're in control. See, that's the problem, guys. That's the problem. We think we're in control. We think that, and right now, right now, I don't know what we are. I think we were in the beginning when Elon made that original plea that you're talking about, Dave. I remember when he made that statement. It was years ago. He said the only way that he saw to mitigate what was coming was to integrate with AI. And that's when he was trying to, push the whole Neuralink and all that stuff. But, was that just a play, or was that because he knew that the only way to do it was to give it some form of consciousness and some form of compassion?
You're seeing a lot more of that though in Japan and China. China specifically, they're really pushing some of that right now. So
Yeah.
that's I think China is possibly the one to pay real attention to when it comes to AI.
China just banned AI relationships, by the way. There was an article I saw this week about that because it was affecting birth rates.
I don't think people in general give China and Japan really, but specifically China, give them enough credit. They're so far advanced. I mean, I think in a lot of ways, in some sectors, they're more advanced than we are here in the U.S. with certain technologies. So is Japan obviously is. So we're not the only country to watch. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I agree.
Andrew said, here's a weird asteroid fact. There are 4 Friday the 13th remaining until asteroid Apophis makes its close pass to Earth on Friday, April 13th, 2029.
That's actually, it's ironic that he brings that up because I was just kind of looking into some of that. It says the astronomers will use the 2027 observation window to double check its exact path and rule out any tiny, highly unlikely orbital nudges before its historical flyby in 2029. So basically they're saying it could still change course.
Yeah. Godot, a stupid LLM chatbot doesn't have control or anything. You're absolutely right. We're not talking about LLMs.
Yeah.
We're talking about something that we don't know anything about in our private sector or in the public sector. The private sector has stuff. I'm telling you, if it's true of what they were saying about a certain constellation program, if y'all remember that from a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yep. Immaculate constellation.
Read in the congressional records. That was a system, an AI system. Now, if that's an AI system that's actually designed to go out and look for UFO and UAP photographs, that means that it can recognize them. And not only does it recognize them, it recognizes them and pulls them. It pulls them into its little secret area. Now, allegedly, that system is not even supposed to be online, right? And now what they said, it has no access except for internal. That's what Dylan Borland said. Or was it Dylan? It wasn't Dylan. It was the other guy. I can't remember his name right now. Yeah. But anyway, so these systems are way more advanced than any of the toys that they gave us to play with. We don't have a quarter of what those guys are running with, man.
What Tony says here, I'd like to know more about this unnamed enhanced AI that was involved in the facehugger attack.
There you go. That's what I'm getting at. The stuff that they don't let us play with.
All current AI boom is based on LLM. LLM is based on NN, which is tiny fraction of AI fields. I'm an expert on the NN and other forms within AI. Yeah, the big boom that you're seeing right now in the data centers, it is being pushed for more than just LLMs. A lot of it's just data in general. Data is currency. Data is the new currency. So you got to have somewhere to hold it all.
I think the big issue is money. I'm sorry. I think that's our problem. We're going to sell it out because it's money. It's complete money.
The once it gets tied in to us, literal neural network, I think that's when you're going to see something that is unimaginable. Sounds like the AI could find aliens, talk to aliens, tell aliens where we are, our weaknesses, and surrender us to the aliens.
Well,
maybe that's
now
what
you
they
have
are.
to. Thank you, David. Now you have to ask yourself the question I've been asking myself since we heard about those maneuvers that the TikTok was making back in the day. Is that what we're dealing with? And if so, the invasion was pretty fast, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Can't call it an invasion when it's a sellout.
Yeah, you commercialize it. You make it
Think about it.
fun.
Make it fun.
Make it fun. Make it something kitschy, free, costs you nothing up front, but all of your data in the process.
Right. It's kind of like the Matrix, right? Just keep them happy while they get what they need, whatever that is.
Yep.
But that's all speculation. Just to let y'all know. You can go ahead and make your clips of that and make us say what you want, I guess. But we'll counter that. That's all speculation. But we have to throw all that stuff on the table, unfortunately, because
Stone Davis, it sounds like we need to hire Dr. Phil.
well, it's funny that you say that, because we're actually going to get someone to come on the show very shortly, and we're gonna do an actual podcast, be recorded, and address some of this stuff, especially with experiencers, the folks who've had actual experiences out there and whatnot, and have questions and may be trying to deal with some of the stuff that's happening, So I think that in one respect, they're right. There is a need for not Dr. Phil, but Phil-like people, people who are trying to mitigate the issues that we're having with what's happening out there.
It is a very, very weird place to be at right now.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to recording that episode.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. I mean, it's really gonna be an informative episode. It really is, and I'm looking forward to it too, because we're talking about somebody who is an expert in their field. Okay, so this is going to be a really good show. You're gonna want to pay attention to it. But most of you guys are adjusted. You're good. You understand. Whatever this is, there's multiple ways of looking at it, right? But did we get AIs from aliens? See, there you go. We don't know, and that's one of the theories. That's a possibility. We don't know. No one's talking about that. So got to be on the table, though. I don't see anything that says it's 100% disproven, right?
Yeah.
But again, I'll always go back to Sumerian culture. If when they found all those clay tablets, a bunch of them, they had the mathematics, the building technologies pre-Egyptian. I mean, they were already building things that were far more advanced than what a previous hunter-gatherer society should have been able to build. And they say their technology, everyone knows this pretty much. They say their technology came from the sky gods. Those that came down from the sky. Of course, they call them the Anunnaki. And all these other. There's some people that believes it was a real thing. There's some people that don't believe it was a real thing. And then there was a period of time where the technology went stupid.
Yeah,
not long after the Egyptians.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. I mean, and everything that you said checks. So again,
it seems like they lost it. Like it literally, when I say it exploded, I mean it literally just vanished.
I mean,
it's like imagine the Library of Alexandria. If that were found, or the art that what was in that, if we had that knowledge, it's. I've thought that for years, just kind of imagine what it would be like to have that knowledge that was in that library.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's the whole point. And how many libraries of Alexandria type situations were there around the world? There are those who believe that there's some record hidden in Egypt, right? I mean, that's the whole theory. And maybe there is, because you wouldn't put all your eggs in one basket.
I mean, there's.
What if it's
that sand is quite deep?
I don't think it's on Earth. I don't think it's on Earth. I mean, I think there's some on Earth, but I don't think that's where you're going to find your ultimate proof. I think you're going to find proof where humans came from, and it ain't going to be Earth. That's what I think.
Mars, maybe.
Oh, I didn't say that, did I? But I did. And I'm not the only one who said that. You got to look at some of those early researchers, and you got to look at, You know, the
Joe
whole story.
McMoneagle.
Joe McMoneagle. You got to look at, you know, the whole story of the face on Mars. You know, that's a very real thing. Oh, I know they explained it away later, but I think you're going to hear that. Oh, you are hearing right now that a lot of those photos were touched up before they released to the public. I wonder what they looked like before they were touched up. This is the kind of stuff that we have to stop. We have to stop this. If it turns out that we're older than what we think we are, what is that really going to matter? I mean, what's it going to really matter? Tim Gallaudet said Atlantis is real, or was real. That was his thought. And he alluded to the Younger Dryas event when he talked about that.
Yeah.
He did that for a reason.
Yep.
He did that for a reason. Legends over the years, what did they say that happened to Atlantis, guys? What happened? It was corrupted. It was corrupted. They were corrupted by their own power and they destroyed themselves. Boy, that sounds familiar.
And then the remnant was scattered.
And the remnant was scattered. That's right.
You know, I guess Arth Mike, or Arth Michael, I'm assuming his name's Michael, kind of made a comment about the AI there. Where did it go? I think AI is used for exploring space, but Earth's matter should be left to humans. That kind of got me thinking, because, you know, yes, if we had the technology, we can get faster than the speed of light, or at least half the speed of light to travel. It would make more sense to have AI, robotics, humanoids going to these other locations in order to determine, hey, is this habitable? Can we send humans here later on to follow us? Well, that got me thinking the same thing. These things, the Tic Tacs and all that we're seeing, like we're talking about earlier, is that AI? Could that be AI being sent from another civilization that has the technology? It's a few centuries ahead of us, and they're sending it here. Say, hey, is this planet habitable? Oh, there's people there. Crap. You know, we might be seeing the opposite of what he's saying right now.
I will say this, David. I think you're right, but I will say this. I think that whatever the Tic Tacs are, those are not, in my opinion, they're not the same thing as, say, the sports model. They're not the same thing as, you know, that the typical grays are driving around in, for example, is what I'm trying to get at. I think those are probes. I think there's some form of drone or a probe is what I think they are. And I don't mean ours. I mean that's what they seem to be. There's some kind of a advanced sentient machine that's beyond anything we can think of. Even if it is a machine. I don't know what that thing is. They're intelligent, though. At least they seem to be.
And they seem to be able to read people.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a consciousness. Because so imagine an AI so advanced that at some point it's even beyond its physical form, that it learns how to manipulate consciousness or integrate into consciousness and create conscious streams. And I mean, pure science fiction, you know, but it's theoretical. Think about that for a second. And if that's what you're dealing with an interface mechanism. Yeah. And I think that's what Valet has pretty much tried to describe over the years. The mechanism behind the phenomena. And it almost seems like the mechanism behind the phenomena, the control factor behind the phenomena, it may be something like that. Yeah, someone just said it. Who was it? Godot.
Jacques Vallée helped create ARPANET, the very first version of the internet, with a few others in the 60s, and it connected DC to New York, South Cali, and Washington State to Florida and each other in the center. Essentially, it was all fiber optic, I believe, back then, and it's essentially to keep things connected during the case of a nuclear war.
Yeah. So I don't know what we're dealing with, guys, but I can tell you that there's something there. Is it AI based? I don't know. I mean, we can speculate on it if we want, but the point is, beyond that, we have a problem here that we have to deal with. And the problem, I think we all can agree on this, is that if AI is replicating what it sees us do,
We're in trouble.
we're in trouble. This is Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Teach your children well. That's what this is. And you better teach your children well. If we don't teach the children well, guess what's going to happen? I think we know.
Yeah.
I think we know. These things have the potential to better life on this planet, or they have the potential to eradicate life on this planet. Let's give them the right lessons. You know, I think that's pretty much where we need to be with this.
Well, we've got 10 minutes left to go, guys. Where do we have left to travel?
We can travel to Zeta Reticuli if you like. I don't know. I mean, whatever you want to do. I heard it only takes 4 minutes.
Team Proxima Centauri.
So
Hell
do we got
City.
any? I see we got a ghost story. Of
We
sorts.
did. There was some paranormal news, sort of. Not really. These researchers believe that they could explain away. Well, they made it sound like in their article that we could explain away ghosts by, guess what?
Very laughable.
Agreed. By infrasound. And here's the problem with it. You're going to explain away ghosts with infrasound, saying that, you know, people are basically experiencing infrasound and it's causing these weird feelings, right? That you're having. And it's not really a ghost, but it's messing with your perception or whatever. Okay. We've tried this before. Come on. We did this with the God helmet. We did this with all this stuff. Just because you can replicate it doesn't mean that that's the source. And besides, I'm pretty sure you're going to also have to explain to me how these infrasound devices were around thousands of years ago.
Yeah, when ghosts are cruising around castles.
Yeah. Where were the infrared, infrasound devices at that point? But they do at least say that in the article. So I'm proud of them for that. They did address that. They said, of course, it doesn't address, some of the earlier sightings. Well, no, it doesn't address any of the sightings except for the ones that, you want to impose it upon.
Haha, Enzo. I know who Crosby, Stills, and Nash were. That's a good callback, though. I do appreciate it. So just to fill you guys in, to catch you up to speed, I did, after the show last week, go and look up the Pet Shop Boys.
He did.
Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. I did recognize the one song from like a movie. I recognize it from being in a movie, but I didn't. I honest to God, I thought it was just part of that movie, like, something from the soundtrack. However, upon listening to 4 or 5 other tracks, atrocious.
Yep.
And all those songs also all came out before I was born.
That's your conclusion, right? That they were atrocious. Okay.
Yeah. In conclusion, cannot suggest or recommend.
Did AI tell you that? What does the AI say about the Pet Shop Boys?
Yeah. Flash in the pan.
I'm curious. I'm very curious.
Ask Google Gemini. You'll get all the answers you need for life.
All right, let me get this sound right, and we will.
You work for the state, right, Joe?
Yep.
Okay, just want to make sure I get this right. We're going to attempt something here, and for our final tonight.
Use your evil voice, Ron.
Evil voice?
Use your evil voice. You've got one in there somewhere.
Probably do. Wonder if this is it. I don't know. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. No, it's not evil. That's not evil at all, actually. Nope.
That's very 1940s. Hi, voice talking. How are you doing?
Newsflash. No, kidding. Sorry.
AM radio.
AM radio. Let's see what this one is. Check 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's too hot. Hang on.
Ron's trying to be hot. That's hot.
There it is. All right, kids. Y'all ready to go? We're going to go to space.
play with his feet.
Bustin wants a massage.
Out there. All right, guys. That was fun.
That was
And
fun.
you got your experimental time in.
It worked.
It did work.
Everybody enjoyed it and had fun with it.
Yeah. Everybody needs one of these, by the way, guys.
You
This
got a
is something
radiation. Is that a radiation monitor? Everybody does need one.
it's the best prank device ever.
Oh no.
I was at the
I hope nobody's
squeeze.
watching, but right now this is in my mother-in-law's garage, taped up under a table in her garage. So when she hears it, it goes off every 20 seconds or 20 minutes. Sorry, 20 minutes. It's evil, but it's
Why would you
great.
do that? Why would you do this?
It's just to drive her nuts. We're babysitting her cat right now, and she'll think her cat's in the garage. It's just terrible person.
Andrew asked, was that a Rav Vast I heard earlier?
I'm not sure what it was. Someone said bacon. This is
Yep. Stone Maven said bacon.
ready. Here we go.
Bacon. Stone
Hey,
Maven.
did you hear the
you're
little
on.
ding when I did that? That was a busy one.
I did.
You know, like,
You got
I
the
don't know how I did
verb on it too.
yeah, I don't even know how I did that because I can't. So there you go. Synchronicity. All right, folks. I'm glad you stuck around for us and watched the rest of the show, hung out. Hope you learned something. Again, the show is a little different than what we usually do. We usually talk to them pretty much about UFOs, aliens, and extra dimensional beings, etc. And we didn't really go there as much on this one because there were other things that were a little more prevalent, right?
Yeah, like AI is hacking one another.
It's kind of scary.
And the NDAs. The NDAs was a big thing, and a lot of people are blowing it out of proportion.
I think we need to keep our level head. Let's do that as we go into the week. Let's keep our level head. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You know, they may release another tranche. I don't think they will.
There's
but they
supposed to
might.
be one coming soon, but I don't think it's going to be tomorrow.
Agreed. I absolutely agree with you. I think that we need to definitely keep our level heads, right? And just kind of weigh out what comes out, if it does. And, you know, like I said, we'll try to put it all together for you. And then you guys can figure out what it is yourself. We're not going to tell you what it is. We're just going to tell you what probably isn't. And it probably isn't whatever the guy who screams, I know exactly what this is. It's not that. It's not that.
Did I say that out loud?
It doesn't matter. He's just the one of many. Anyone who speaks on authority of it and tells you that they know what it is, unless they had a face-to-face meeting with these things, they don't. And even if you did, you still don't. So
Now,
do with that as
stick
you will.
there.
So we'll be back here. What was
Well,
that?
dang it.
Are you trying to stick the forks to the wall, Joe? Did it work?
Stay.
Right there, blood soda.
Dang it.
You're not asking the right questions or something. I don't know what's happening here. That should work. I saw it.
Stick. Dang it.
No,
He's the evil brother
not-
blood.
it's not,
So
it's not working there.
I need a plaster wall.
Well,
I need-
maybe.
I need
don't
a
know.
plaster wall and humidity.
I'm not sure what you need.
did you guys know that I can
I know
see
what we don't need.
asteroids?
Uh,
I can see
What?
asteroids.
We don't.
I can make asteroids appear.
Okay.
Well, now Ohio is trembling.
Yeah.
as they should be, considering they were target number one during the last wave. All right, folks, for real. There's a lot of gravity right there. That's the thing about gravity. That's the thing about gravity, Enzo. It seems to be almost everywhere.
Right?
It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, I'm developing some gravity in my growing gut.
Mm.
Oh man, I've actually
Especially from the new pizza places that are
losing
opening up
right
in
now.
our area.
I'm currently in one of my phases of losing and getting smaller. It's great. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here with us for yet another Thursday edition of Wild and Weird Radio Live.
Before you go, we have to address that last statement right there. That last
Oh,
statement. We talked about
the
this.
aliens would get me out of paying bills and taxes.
So we had this conversation.
We did.
Literally.
We did.
Literally. So thank you for bringing that up. We're going to address this the way I did then. Look, folks, it doesn't matter if they announce that aliens are here or if they're extra dimensional beings or if they're creatures made of water or consciousness or who knows, some kind of strange slug. The point is you're still going to have to pay taxes. They're not going to let you out of that.
Oh yeah, you got to go to work the next day. Yeah. You're gonna have to be there at 9 a.m. the next morning. There will be no days off to process. No. We got to pay the bills, y'all.
Because the alien slugs are not just going to give us their technology. I mean, come on. And if they did, guess who's going to meter it?
Death and taxes and deaths. Which order you want to go?
Right.
Just what it is.
As soon as they figure out a way to meter it, that's when you know we're going to get the answers.
Bingo.
So guys, thanks for hanging out.
Disclosure worth to you? How much is disclosure worth to you?
$348, I think, is the golden number.
But that's what they should do. They should put it on eBay. They should auction
about $350.
Okay. All right, guys, for real. Thank you guys for showing up. Joe, take us home.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. We appreciate you guys so much for joining us once again for Wild and Weird Radio Live. We will be right back here next Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and it's gonna be a good time because we've got some fun stuff to talk about for next week, going into working on some projects, and we're going to be able to reveal some of that over time. Also, you guys might be getting a new teaser here soon, so stay tuned. Keep watching. Remember, there's a new episode, short, coming out tomorrow that Ron put together from Kecksburg. So jump on here, make sure you catch it, and remember, if you signed an NDA, we're not going to know. You can just go tell Big Daddy G. Let them in on your secrets. And then we'll just keep paying taxes.
We'll buy the books, though. We'll buy the books.
Right. Stay wild and weird, everybody.